Women's tennis doesn't currently belong to one dominant player. It belongs to a power triangle. Świątek controls the structure. Aryna Sabalenka controls the violence. Elena Rybakina controls the danger. And until one of them breaks the balance, the era remains unresolved. Some will argue this is just another rivalry cycle, that one player will eventually pull away. Maybe. But right now, three completely different systems are colliding at the top of the sport, and that collision is shaping everything that follows. This isn't fan debate. This is structural analysis of who actually controls women's tennis. Tennis history doesn't remember parity. It remembers eras. Navratilova's era, Graf's era, Serena's era. Dominance defines memory. But when three players hold overlapping authority across surfaces, styles, and psychological pressure, the sport enters instability. Rankings fluctuate, slam winners diversify, tactical trends accelerate. And that instability creates a question. Who is shaping the future? Legacy hangs on this answer. If Świątek's control system prevails, we may be watching the rise of another strategic dynasty. If Sabalenka's power baseline revolution takes over, the modern game tilts toward aggression-first tennis. If Rybakina continues dismantling top players with surgical efficiency, the narrative changes again. Precision becomes the ultimate weapon. This isn't casual debate. It determines how this generation will be remembered. To evaluate the triangle, we need clarity. 4 control axes. Scoreboard pressure. Who builds leads and protects them? Style imposition. Who forces matches into their preferred patterns? Surface translation. Whose strengths travel across conditions? Psychological gravity. Who changes how opponents think before points even begin? Everything that follows connects back to these 4, not highlight moments, control. Świątek consistently ranks near the top in return games won. That statistic isn't passive. It means opponents feel hunted every service game. They don't relax after holding serve, they brace. Long rallies become emotional drains. Scoreboards compress quickly. Sabalenka's serve metrics tell a different story. High hold percentages create insulation. When you know your serve is reliable, risk becomes acceptable. She swings earlier, hits flatter, takes time away. That creates fear. Opponents feel rushed, like every rally might end instantly. Rybakina sits between worlds. Her ace counts and first strike efficiency mirror power players, but her rally tolerance introduces stability. Her win rates against top-ranked opponents highlight something deeper. She doesn't shrink against hierarchy. Numbers show performance. Meaning shows pressure. Świątek compresses space. Sabalenka expands it. Rybakina neutralizes it. And opponents must choose which discomfort they prefer. Consider the 2023 Madrid final between Świątek and Sabalenka. Altitude conditions, faster clay, risk rewarded. Sabalenka stepped inside the baseline early, flattened trajectories, refused to be pushed back by topspin. Early momentum leaned toward power. Świątek adjusted. Higher margin cross-court patterns, extended rallies, forced Sabalenka into decision fatigue. Momentum swung like a pendulum. Body language shifted. Sabalenka's shoulders tightened between points. Świątek's footwork became more elastic, almost lighter as rallies lengthened. Pressure built. Every deuce game felt heavier. Sabalenka eventually pushed through, not by abandoning aggression, but by controlling when to accelerate. That match showed evolution. Power, learning patience. Now shift to a defining Rybakina encounter against a top-ranked opponent. Early rallies look calm, almost quiet. No excessive emotion, minimal wasted motion. Then suddenly, flat backhand down the line, point over. Opponents realize too late that they are being outpaced without obvious effort. Momentum shifts without drama. Psychological pressure grows differently here, not through intensity, but inevitability. Świątek forces adaptation through endurance. Sabalenka forces reaction through force. Rybakina forces doubt through precision. 3 systems, 3 emotional climates.
Every era has structural benchmarks. Think of Novak Djokovic in 2015, return dominance and elastic defense redefining consistency. Think of Roger Federer at peak, first strike timing reshaping offensive efficiency. Or Rafael Nadal on clay, territorial control turning matches into inevitability. These benchmarks matter because they represent singular dominance. The current triangle is different. Świątek resembles structural control, depth, spin, and repeatable pressure. Sabalenka embodies aggressive acceleration, shorter rallies, scoreboard bursts. Rybakina reflects precision minimalism, efficient strikes, emotional neutrality. None alone currently replicate the complete cross-surface supremacy of past benchmarks. Instead, dominance fragments across styles, and fragmentation creates tension. Świątek's technical foundation is built on spin and movement. Her forehand generates heavy rotation, creating safety without surrendering aggression. Her backhand redirects pace efficiently. Psychologically, she thrives on rhythm. When rallies follow predictable patterns, her decision-making sharpens. Risk factor? Early ball attackers can disrupt her timing, especially on faster courts. Sabalenka's weapons are clear: serve velocity, clean backhand acceleration, ability to finish points early. Her evolution lies in emotional management. Earlier seasons exposed volatility. Recent performances show increased composure under pressure. Risk factor: extended defensive exchanges still increase error probability. Rybakina operates differently. Minimal motion, direct ball striking, efficient energy usage. Her psychological strength is neutrality. She rarely appears overwhelmed or overly energized. That steadiness destabilizes opponents who rely on emotional swings. Risk factor: when forced into extended defensive scrambling, her structure becomes less imposing. And beyond individual weaknesses lies another threat. Each player studies the others. Evolution is continuous. All three players sit within prime competitive windows. The next few seasons will determine whether this triangle collapses into hierarchy or evolves into a prolonged three-way balance. Świątek's projection depends on accelerating her hardcourt offense without losing consistency. Sabalenka's path requires maintaining aggression while expanding rally tolerance. Rybakina's future hinges on durability and sustaining elite-level consistency across full seasons. Statistically, any one of them could break away, but separation requires solving the others repeatedly, not once, systematically. That's the threshold between rivalry and era control. Power triangles rarely last. Eventually, one force stabilizes the chaos. But right now, women's tennis exists in a rare equilibrium, three elite systems colliding without clear resolution. Świątek refines structure, Sabalenka expands power, Rybakina sharpens precision. Each pushes the others beyond comfort. And maybe that's the real story, not dominance, evolution under resistance. Because if this is the current version, three near-prime forces balancing the sport on a knife's edge, then the real question isn't who controls women's tennis today. It's what happens when one of them finally learns how to control everything. Power triangles don't resolve quietly. They fracture. One player adapts faster, one absorbs pressure better, one expands beyond her original blueprint. And when that shift happens, the balance disappears overnight. Świątek, Sabalenka, Rybakina, three systems competing for era control. The separation moment isn't hypothetical, it's building. If you want to track who actually breaks the triangle first, tactically, psychologically, historically, stay inside this series, because the next chapter won't be subtle.